Command Your Destiny, a powerful mindset transformation. Wake up. What you're about to hear isn't advice. It's mental warfare, a complete system to reprogram how you see yourself, command your circumstances, and shape your future. Your life bends to your assumptions. The way you expect things to unfold is exactly how they manifest. Not because of luck, because of focus. Your dominant thoughts pull circumstances into alignment, shaping how you act, speak, persist, or retreat. What if you assumed right now that everything is working out for you? Even during silence, even during struggle, even when there's no proof. What if you lived as if success was guaranteed and the door was already open? This isn't wishful thinking. This is mental engineering, the exact force that built history's greatest achievements. Henry Ford didn't hope for success. He decided it was inevitable. When everyone called the automobile impossible, he built factories. Thomas Edison didn't quit after 10,000 failed attempts because he knew success was certain. Charles Schwab operated from unshakable vision, not fear. Andrew Carnegie moved as if his industrial empire was already secured. That energy builds legacies. You've spent enough time hesitating, enough time overthinking, enough time living in fear. Today we flip the script. The version of you that shrinks when life gets loud cannot coexist with the version of you that walks in certainty. One must die. Today I hand you a new operating system. Act as if everything always works out. Not because it's guaranteed, but because it makes you unstoppable. When you assume success is inevitable, you move with courage, speak with authority, and command your life instead of negotiating with it. Repeat this daily until your subconscious accepts this certainty as law, until doubt withers in the presence of your calm, because fear cannot survive where faith dominates. Once you align with the assumption that success is secured, you destroy fear completely. Listen with intensity, speak these truths aloud. Let them enter your nervous system like rocket fuel. This isn't motivation, it's reprogramming. By the end, you will not think, move, or be the same. Let's begin. Adi, everything works out for you. What if it all works out? Not just the comfortable parts, all of it. The setbacks, delays, pain, silence, detours. What if every piece of struggle is precisely building the version of you required for the dream you've been asking for? Most people live in worry. They wake bracing for failure. They expect betrayal. They wait for the bottom to fall out even as life rises. Because of this expectation, they unconsciously direct energy toward what they fear, not what they want. There's another way to live, a way that doesn't require hype or perfection. It simply demands one thing: believe before you see. Truth belief isn't a reaction. Belief is a choice. That choice directs your mind's energy. Your subconscious doesn't argue with you. It accepts what you feed it and builds your reality around that assumption. Say, nothing works for me, and your subconscious responds, understood, then filters your world through that lens. Now imagine the opposite. Imagine waking up no matter the circumstance with this command running in the background: everything is working out for me. Even if you're broke, even after betrayal, even when the path isn't clear, you still move like it's happening. You still execute like doors are opening. You still build like the foundation is solid. That belief alone, practiced daily, would rewire your entire life. When you assume things are working in your favor, you become calmer under pressure, more patient during waiting. You move with power, even when evidence isn't visible. This isn't delusion. This is leadership of self. Thomas Edison said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That's not perseverance. That's a man who assumed the light bulb was already his, just a matter of time. He didn't ask, "What if this never happens?" He asked, "What else can I try? I know it's coming." That mindset is the difference between folding after 3 setbacks and becoming legendary. When Henry Ford's investors laughed at a car for the common man, he didn't try to prove himself with words. He didn't shrink into fear. He moved forward like the world was wrong and his vision was already complete. That's not arrogance. That's disciplined assumption, the decision to act like it's working even when you can't see it. The weak wait for proof, the powerful move as if proof already exists. So let me ask again, what if it all works out? What if the delay was divine? What if the betrayal was protection? What if the confusion was construction? What if the setback was the exact detour introducing you to the version of yourself you actually need? Once you install this assumption as default, you no longer fear the unknown, you welcome it, because the unknown isn't your enemy. It's evidence that something bigger is forming. Your only job: keep moving, build when it's boring, lead when no one's clapping, act like the outcome is locked in even when the scoreboard says you're losing. Because the scoreboard doesn't measure your spirit. It doesn't track your faith. It doesn't see what's building behind the scenes. Only you know that, say it now, I live as if everything is working for me. I don't panic. I prepare. I don't beg for signs. I build in silence. I will not fold because I've already decided the ending. I miwi daush yi wa walertiak. This isn't mindset fluff. This is mental warfare. The choice to walk through chaos with order in your mind. Once you decide how this ends, you don't need to flinch at the middle. Act as if everything works out soon. It will. Because what the mind accepts, the world mirrors. Definite purpose. There is one quality above all others that separates builders from drifters, the lost from the locked in, the man who watches life from the man who shapes it. Definiteness of purpose. A clear, unwavering, unshakable aim, a target burned so deeply into your subconscious that it becomes impossible to ignore, even in silence, failure, and doubt. This isn't a vague dream, not a goals list, not midnight wishes forgotten by morning. This is purpose written with fire, carried with discipline, protected with your life. Without purpose, your energy scatters. Hours get stolen by distraction. Focus hijacked by the next shiny thing. You chase a dozen paths and master none. Build halfway, then walk away. Mistake movement for momentum, activity for achievement. But when you become a man with definite purpose, your path narrows. Vision sharpens. You stop wondering what the day will bring and start commanding it to deliver what you've already decided. That's power. That's transformation's beginning. Every history maker had purpose behind his steps. Henry Ford didn't aim to be wealthy someday. He decided to revolutionize transportation and pursued it with focus so sharp the world had no choice but to adjust. Charles Schwab knew what he was there to build. His purpose was so magnetic that others followed naturally. Abraham Lincoln's decision was so clear that not even a divided nation could shake it loose. That's what you need now. A final decision, a line in the sand, a sentence that lives in your bones, so clear your mind orbits around it daily. Do you know your purpose? Do you know without doubt what you're here to do? If not, no strategy system or video will save you. Progress will always be temporary. Habits will collapse under pressure because your why, your decision, your purpose, holds everything together. Write it down. One sentence, not 10. What must you build before your time here ends? Who must you become? What must you give? What result does your life demand? Not because it's easy, but because you decided it matters more than anything. That's your purpose. Once you have it read it aloud every morning, write it by hand every night. Don't wait for inspiration. Rehearse it until it replaces every other thought. This is confidence's foundation. Waking up, knowing where you're going. You don't compare, don't scroll, don't flinch. Your steps are already assigned. Everything bends toward one thing, your definite purpose. This gives spiritual immunity against distraction. You no longer envy other paths because you're locked into your own. No longer fear failure because it's part of construction. No longer need approval because purpose gives authority. From that place, decisions become easy. Clarity becomes your compass. Time bends in your favor as the universe, your mind, and every atom begins conspiring around mission completion. Without purpose, even the strongest habits drift, even the strongest man falls, even the most brilliant mind chases things that don't matter. Write your sentence, etch it into your soul, not someday, not when life calms down today. The day you stop living like a leaf in the wind and start moving like a builder with orders from within. Say it. I know my purpose and follow it without apology. I no longer wait for clarity. I generate it. My energy is sacred and my direction is locked. This is how empires begin, not with noise, but with one decision burned so deeply into a man's spirit that even time itself bows to his direction. If you haven't made that decision yet, make it now. The clock is running. Your focus hasn't been. You've got work to do. Understand faith through repetition. Faith isn't something you wait for, not a gift descending from the sky, not the result of hope or circumstance. Faith is something you build. Constructed the same way a building rises, brick by brick, act by act, thought by thought, until you stand within something so strong that even your doubts must bow before it. Truth. Most men never understand faith isn't emotion. Faith is repetition, the byproduct of consistent, disciplined belief spoken aloud, written down, acted upon until your subconscious accepts it as fact. You don't find faith, you forge it, train it, rehearse it until it no longer requires evidence because it becomes the evidence. Key insight. Your mind doesn't believe what's true, it believes what's repeated. That's why many believe in failure. They've rehearsed it, spoken doubt daily, imagined disaster repeatedly, aligned actions with fear, then wondered why faith hasn't arrived. Clarity. You cannot rehearse weakness and expect strength, cannot marinate in hesitation and expect certainty. Faith, like muscle, is earned through resistance, built by applying pressure to comfort. Every time you follow through, especially when it's hard, you earn more faith. Autosuggestion isn't a game, it's the gateway, the act of deliberately feeding your mind the identity you've chosen. Not given, not labeled, but designed. That's why I don't tell you to casually watch. I tell you to repeat, study, speak back. When you make these words louder than doubt, something extraordinary happens. You believe yourself. That's personal power's root. Knowing your subconscious listens when you speak. Begin each day with command, not confusion. Speak the script of the man you're becoming. Not just because it sounds good, but because it's writing new grooves in your mind that become your path. Thomas Edison didn't succeed from inspiration. He succeeded because his faith in the outcome exceeded any failure. 10,000 attempts, 10,000 ways that didn't work. Never called failures because his faith was anchored. He saw the light before the world did. John D. Rockefeller trained his thinking like war preparation. He believed in systems, structure, certainty. Built from mental rehearsal, he constructed wealth in mind before world. You must do the same. See yourself follow through, imagine moving. With power, speak to yourself like a general giving orders with calm clarity and conviction. Your subconscious always listens. Every word you whisper, every phrase you repeat either builds faith or breaks it. Are you speaking power or poison, reinforcing courage or conditioning cowardice, using words to lift or lower? What you repeat becomes real. Faith isn't loud or flashy, doesn't beg for attention. Faith is silent, grounded, steady, built in darkness. Built when you show up despite feelings. Built when you say, I will, and follow through without applause. Built when no one's looking and you move anyway. That's how Abraham Lincoln led through fire. Not the most popular or loudest, but believed in the vision so deeply no critic could shake it. When faith becomes unshakable, action becomes automatic. You no longer try to rise. You do. No longer wonder if you're ready. You move. Results multiply not by chance, but design. Instruction. Write your chief aim. Read it aloud morning and night with emotion, certainty, fire. Visualize the outcome daily. Speak your identity as fact. I am focused. I am disciplined. I act with purpose. I do not flinch. This isn't theory, this is practice. Practice long enough, and the man of doubt, fear, and hesitation fades to dust. The man of faith rises, not someday today. Bacchus, burn the bridge. There comes a moment where you must make a decision so final, so absolute that no path remains for retreat. That moment isn't about emotion or confidence, it's about commitment. Burning the bridge means this: you remove all exits, fallback plans, and quiet excuses whispering, if this doesn't work, I can always go back way. No, you can't. That man is gone. Truth. You don't truly transform until you remove the option of staying the same. Cannot build a new life while clinging to your old one. Cannot become someone new while holding space for who you used to be. Cannot win with eyes halfway on the rearview mirror. Charles Schwab didn't become Carnegie Steel's president by playing safe. He wasn't the room's smartest. He was the most decided, carried himself like a leader before the world saw it, aligned his speech tone and energy with his desired position. In doing so, closed the door to mediocrity. When he entered rooms felt it. For that presence, you must decide so fully, so violently that your past self is stunned to silence. This is burning the bridge. Not symbolic, strategic. When you remove the option to quit, you activate a part of your mind most never touch the part that must win because it has no choice. Andrew Carnegie demanded this from his men. Didn't want those interested in success, wanted men with one obsession, men who burned bridges to every other pursuit. He understood a divided mind is a defeated mind. You cannot serve two identities, the man you've been and the man you're becoming. One must die. Remove everything giving the old you oxygen, every distraction, excuse, person keeping you small. You want to rise, remove the staircase down. Want to become unrecognizable? Stop keeping souvenirs from your past self. Delete contacts, draining focus, clear your space of things, reinforcing old habits. Stop visiting mental corners where doubt lives, destroy the comfort you retreat to. Comfort lies, says you're fine where you are. Greatness never lives there. Greatness begins when you close the back door and walk forward with fire. Henry Ford bet everything on the assembly line, didn't ask permission, didn't try to convince skeptics, decided. In that decision, removed failure as an option. People laughed. He didn't. A man who burns bridges has no time for doubt, too busy executing. You'll be tempted to look back. Think how easy it was to be lazy, scroll, sleep, and live without pressure. That voice will sound reasonable, offer balance, say just this once. That voice is the final ghost of old identity. Kill it. Don't entertain it. Don't respond. Don't explain. Replace it every time it whispers, speak louder. I said 90, not 9. I act from decision. Not feeling I move because I chose this path. Not because it's easy, but because it's mine. Art. This hardens your will, trains your subconscious to believe your word is law. Your actions aren't suggestions, they're commands. This forms the edge. Now you don't need emotion to move, don't need motivation. You move because the bridge is gone, because the man you were has no shelter left, because the only direction is forward. Thomas Edison didn't hope for breakthrough. He decided there would be one and worked like a man with no alternative. 10,000 failures, not once considering retreat. Why no bridge to return to? Adopt this mindset. Burn plan B, eliminate what if, live as if this is your only shot because it is. The clock doesn't pause. The world doesn't wait. Neither should you. You've danced with discipline long enough, flirted with greatness long enough, now marry the mission, fully, finally, without hesitation. Once the bridge burns and fire rises behind you, there's no turning back, only forward, only execution, only evolution. Let that be the point of no return, let that be the day everything changed. Let that be today. Tao the mastermind. No man rises alone, no man becomes powerful in isolation. While discipline is forged in solitude, acceleration is born in alignment. A force exists more powerful than willpower, more potent than skill or ambition. The mastermind. It begins with this truth. You become like the minds you consistently align with. Your thoughts shaped by your circle, energy influenced by environment, identity forged in the company you keep. You may believe you're strong enough to carry your mission alone. Look around. Truly. Look. Who do you share time with? Who shapes your vision? Who do you speak to most? Those voices either build or break you. The mastermind isn't just a group. It's a mental alliance, a convergence of aligned minds moving with shared intention. To elevate, not distract, build, not entertain, sharpen, not soften. You must seek this or build it. Find men who speak with clarity, move with purpose, understand what silence means, don't need mission reminders because they live it. When you connect your mind to others moving with the same fire, something miraculous happens. You become faster, stronger, more focused. You multiply energy, compress timelines, unlock ideas you'd never see alone. The mastermind brings perspective, not theory. The same strategy used by history's greatest builders. Henry Ford didn't build his empire in vacuum. He surrounded himself with thinkers, engineers, men of unshakable belief. They didn't always agree, but they aligned, they pushed, they challenged each other into higher execution. Thomas Edison had a mental network of collaboration, not noise ideas passing between minds, each sharpened through shared obsession. Andrew Carnegie attributed his fortune not to luck or capital, but to the mastermind. One goal reinforced by many minds united in purpose. Charles Schwab rose because he sought alignment with the highest vision and made it his daily environment. The mastermind isn't accidental, it's created carefully, deliberately. Let's be clear, not everyone around you qualifies. A mastermind doesn't include people who speak doubt, gossip, chase comfort, mock discipline, or wait for permission. Remove them from your mental atmosphere immediately. A single weak mind in your circle dilutes your fire. Protecting energy isn't arrogance, it's strategy. If a man doesn't feed your vision, he bleeds it. If he doesn't mirror commitment, he distracts from it. If he can't see the future you're building, he has no place in its foundation. Rule: if you wouldn't trade places with their life, don't take advice from their voice. You're not obligated to carry others' confusion. You're building something different, sharper, clearer, higher. Form your mastermind by choice. Start with one aligned mind, one voice that sharpens you, one man who speaks clarity over chaos, then another, until your circle becomes a system, a structure, a support so tight that failure becomes difficult. Meet weekly, speak with purpose, share goals, hold each other to higher standards. Eliminate soft language. Maybe, someday, I'll try. Replace with declarations, accountability fire. If you can't find this circle yet, be it. Be the standard. Speak with authority. Move with conviction. Others will feel it and rise to meet you or fall away. Don't chase approval. Don't try converting those committed to drifting. Just build, just move, just live aligned. Those meant to walk with you will appear. This isn't community for comfort's sake. It's alignment for power's sake. When a mind as sharp as yours joins another of equal fire success, laws begin to bend. The path gets clearer, results faster, noise quieter. This is the mastermind's hidden power multiplying your mission. Make your decision. Who do I need to align with? Who must I release? Who must I become to attract the minds I want around me? Then begin. One aligned conversation can change your life. One weak mind can steal it. Choose wisely. That are belief before evidence. Before action, before money, before momentum, there must be belief. No man accomplished greatness without first seeing it in mind. You must believe long before the world permits, long before applause, long before evidence appears. The true test. Can you act as if it's already real while still invisible? This separates the few who rise from the many who quit. Understand, faith isn't luxury or optional mindset for optimists. Faith is the requirement, the foundation, the beginning of all transformation. You may think you need clarity to begin. You don't. May think you need resources, motivation, support. You don't. What you need is decision backed by belief, the kind felt in your chest, that moves your feet, that speaks louder than doubt even when your voice shakes. Abraham Lincoln didn't know how the war would end, had no certainty in strategy, but had faith in principle, that freedom must win even if the road cost everything. Henry Ford had no map, no market, no approval, but believed so deeply that the world eventually bent to his certainty. Rockefeller built empires before infrastructure existed. Why, in his mind, it was already done. Edison, Carnegie, Schwab, none waited for evidence before believing. They created evidence by acting in advance of it. That's what faith does, precedes results. Fear does the opposite. Fear waits for proof. Faith creates proof. Which voice do you obey? Fear waits. Fear scrolls. Fear calculates every risk and forgets every reward. Faith builds. Faith acts. Faith believes and moves anyway. If you think this is just positive thinking, you misunderstand the laws governing your mind. Your subconscious doesn't respond to what's true. It responds to what's repeated, what's felt, what's believed. Repeat. Fear. Life becomes pattern of protection. Repeat belief. Life becomes pattern of creation. That's why autosuggestion is vital. You don't just hear words, you speak them, feel them, emotionalize them into your subconscious until they become identity. Don't just say, I believe, say, I act with faith, I don't wait to feel ready, I know who I'm becoming and move accordingly. Abis, ondis, adendoar, art. This is how belief installs Speak Vision Daily, move like it's done daily, refuse to let fear direct decisions. Most miss this. Belief isn't just mindset. Belief is motion. If you want to believe, act like you believe. Action reinforces belief. Each time you follow through without evidence, show up when it's hard, keep your word in private. You build new identity, an identity saying, I don't need proof. I am the proof. Law belief precedes performance. You never outperform the image you hold of yourself. So the question isn't, can I do it? But what am I rehearsing? What am I telling myself daily in silence? What identity am I speaking into existence or avoiding out of fear? The world doesn't respond to potential. It responds to certainty. In your voice, movement, presence. You can't fake that. It must be forged through daily rehearsal, through belief repetition, in the absence of proof. Every morning, speak your vision. Every evening, reflect on actions. Every hour, refuse to betray the man you're becoming. Watch what happens. Fear doesn't vanish, but faith gets louder. Doubt doesn't disappear, but decisions override it until eventually your belief becomes undeniable. And so do you. This isn't mysticism or fantasy. This is reality. How every empire begins with invisible vision believed, so deeply repeated, so often acted on so boldly that the world has no choice but to see it too. Choose your belief now. Choose what you'll repeat. You're always programming your mind. The only question is, with what? Let faith become your foundation. Let daily actions prove it. Decisiveness. If one trait separates history's builders from men who remain in hesitation their entire lives, it's decisiveness, the ability to choose and never retreat. You don't drift into greatness, you decide your way there. One decision repeated without apology becomes the dividing line between those who make history and those who merely watch it unfold. Understand this, indecision breeds fear. The longer you wait to choose, the louder doubt becomes. A man who delays decays. Every hesitation makes room for second-guessing outside opinion, fear disguised as logic. Slowly your energy leaks, clarity fades, conviction crumbles. This is why you must train yourself to decide fast and change minds slowly. That's the elite's habit. Henry Ford never asked permission. When he decided it was final, forged in fire. Even when engineers said an 8-cylinder engine in one block was impossible, he commanded, build it anyway. They did. His decision was stronger than their doubt. Charles Schwab rose in Carnegie's steel empire not just from competence, but decisiveness. He didn't hesitate or dance around responsibility. He moved, understood commands, pressure, and made hard calls. Most miss this. Successful men aren't the smartest or most connected. They're the most decided. They walk into each day knowing who they are. Don't need to feel ready. They are ready because they said so. Andrew Carnegie didn't build through endless research. He built through direction. One goal, one mission, one purpose, chosen with finality. From that decision, everything shaped. Your life works identically. Until you decide who you are, the world assigns roles, hands scripts, offers distractions, tempts you to stay average. But when you truly decide, the world rearranges around that choice. Law decision creates identity. Indecision preserves old self. If you drift back to old habits, it's not because you're weak, it's because you haven't decided to leave them behind. Worse, indecision breeds more indecision. It compounds. Soon life becomes a loop of almost starts and nearly finished goals. But when you choose, burn the bridge, kill the backup plan, you create energy that cannot be faked. That energy the world responds to. Your mind aligns to it. Your standards are born from it. Instruction: make one powerful decision today and refuse to revisit it. If it's fitness, decide. Business, decide. Who you're becoming, decide. When doubt creeps in, when temptation to adjust or wait appears, don't listen. The decision is already made. Thomas Edison didn't ask the light bulb for permission, didn't wait for all answers. He decided and pursued over 10,000 attempts, not trials, decisions. You need that resolve. Each decision backed by definite purpose builds your internal spine. Once built, life's storms lose power. They cannot move a man already decided. Even Abraham Lincoln, facing a nation in civil war, wasn't paralyzed by indecision. He was methodical, but final. His Emancipation Proclamation wasn't born from public applause, but personal resolve. That kind of decision shapes the future. Ask yourself, what decision have you been avoiding? What goal have you kept open to avoid commitment? What mission have you left negotiable? Draw the line today, say aloud if necessary, I no longer delay, I no longer drift. I no longer entertain versions of me that hesitate. Say it, write it, live it. From that one decision, all actions flow. Truth. Most men aren't waiting for opportunity. They're waiting for permission to decide. But no one's coming to give it. The greats didn't wait, they chose. So choose with spine, with fire, with finality. From that moment forward, you become unshakable. Now the law of increasing returns. A secret lives in every fortune's foundation. Not luck, not timing, not charm. The habit of doing more than you're paid for. This law, the law of compensation, governs advancement like gravity, governs motion, doesn't discriminate or miss, simply returns to each man the value he contributes multiplied over time. Truth most never understand. You're not paid for time, you're paid for value, and value is determined by one thing: how far you go beyond what's expected. Average men perform at paycheck level, exceptional men perform at potential level. Don't wait for reward. Become so effective, consistent, valuable that reward becomes inevitable. Charles Schwab rose from humble beginnings not through better education but better attitude toward work. Became indispensable by becoming irreplaceable. Gave his mind energy more than he was paid for. Because of this, Andrew Carnegie eventually paid him more than any steel man in history. Carnegie himself practiced this with spiritual devotion. In early career, worked longer hours, took greater challenges, volunteered for responsibilities outside his title. Not for recognition, but growth. That growth positioned him for opportunity. This is how climbing begins. You don't get promoted by asking. You get promoted by becoming too valuable to ignore. Understand, the marketplace pays for impact, not intention. Doesn't matter what you meant to do. Doesn't care how busy you were, only measures results. Those results multiply for the man who consistently goes above and beyond. That's where you must live. In the extra mile, the unpaid hour, the unseen effort, the quiet improvement. Secret: the extra mile is the emptiest. That's why all power lives there. Everyone wants to advance, but few give more than asked. Few wake early without being told. Few deliver excellence when average is accepted. Few take ownership of mistakes that weren't theirs. The few who do rise. Thomas Edison didn't stop when the world said, enough, worked relentlessly not to clock hours but produce value over 1,000 patents, invention after invention. Why focus not on reward, but output? Reward followed. This is why you must detach from immediate return. If you only act when rewarded, you'll forever be enslaved by permission. If you act from principle, from the law itself, you become independent of circumstances. You act not for applause, but because you're the kind who does more than required. Over time, the world catches up. Henry Ford didn't invent the car. He revolutionized the process, built better, faster, more accessible, didn't stop at good enough, pushed boundaries, over-delivered. The market followed him. Success isn't reserved for the lucky. It's earned by the man who outserves, out-improves, outlasts. That's what you must install. Not just in business, but in your home discipline mission. When you do more than expected, you become more than expected. You grow, gain self-respect, earn influence, rise above competition without destroying anyone. Challenge: where can you over-deliver today? What extra detail can you improve? What skill can you sharpen without being asked? What task can you complete beyond expectations? Once answered, do it daily until excellence becomes your habit and your name becomes synonymous with certainty of execution. The man who always delivers even when no one's watching becomes the man always called upon when it matters. If you want to advance, rise, build reputation that attracts opportunity, stop asking for more. Start giving more quietly, relentlessly, without needing credit. Credit will come, compensation will come, recognition will come, but only if you become the kind of man who doesn't need it. Say this aloud: I do more than I'm paid for. I am not average. I move with excellence, even when no one is watching. Repeat and live that, and you'll never lack opportunity. The law is simple: he who gives more becomes more. He who becomes more will always have more. A pleasing personality. You may have strength, intelligence, the most brilliant plan, but if your presence repels others, your energy repels trust. Your speech pushes people away instead of drawing them near. Your power will never reach full expression. Truth. No man rises alone. The one who influences others with warmth, confidence, and clarity will always move faster and farther than the man forcing everything through brute strength. This is the pleasing personality, not manipulation or charm, but cultivated energy that magnetizes others without begging for attention. The invisible factor behind history's most successful men, the quality opening doors, earning loyalty, multiplying influence. Plainly, a pleasing personality isn't a gift, it's a discipline, the product of self-awareness, emotional control, intentional practice. Andrew Carnegie built one of history's greatest fortunes not by being loudest, but by making others feel seen. He listened more than spoke, praised more than criticized, mastered influence not through domination, but presence. That presence made others want to work with him, drew power toward him. Charles Schwab became famous for this, though no technical genius he became, U.S. Steel president through how he made people feel, smiled, often remembered names, made others feel important. Through this, got the best from his team without raising his voice. Power isn't just force, power is moving others willingly. Understand, a pleasing personality isn't being fake or soft, it's refining yourself into someone whose presence communicates, this man is worth trusting, this man is worth following. That's not becoming a performer, it's mastering quiet disciplines. Tone of voice, speak with conviction, not hesitation, facial expression, a calm, confident presence speaks before words. Genuine interest, People remember how you made them feel. Ask real questions. Listen deeply. Optimism. A pleasing personality doesn't dwell in negativity. It uplifts, radiates certainty. The world overflows with loud, bitter, argumentative men trying to prove themselves. The man with pleasing personality doesn't argue, shout, or over-explain. He influences, persuades, builds bridges where others burn them. Thomas Edison worked with brilliant minds. Though intensely driven, he understood collaboration's value, creating magnetic environments where others wanted to contribute. His laboratories weren't just invention centers, but spaces charged with positive expectancy. That's what pleasing personality creates: movement without resistance. Practical application. If you want power, become likable. Not seeking approval, but understanding this law, people move faster for men they admire. When you speak with respect, others give respect. When you walk with presence, others feel it before you speak. When you remove the need to prove, you gain ability to persuade. Persuasion moves mountains. Ask yourself, do people feel stronger after speaking with me? Do I make others feel valued, not through flattery, but attention? Do I carry myself with calm authority or chaotic energy? Bottom line, the most powerful man isn't who talks most, but who others listen to when he finally speaks. Abraham Lincoln is remembered not for dominating others, but combining firmness with humility. He communicated with simplicity, clarity, presence, even in darkest times, radiating a pleasing personality that gave people confidence. Henry Ford, for all his brilliance, knew harmony's importance, didn't surround himself with yes men, but valued those communicating ideas with calm strength and direction, not polished in speech, but consistent in presence. Consistency creates trust. That's a pleasing personality's essence. You don't chase attention. You command it through character. Challenge, speak less. When you speak, do so with intention. Smile more. Not as mask, but message. I am in command of my energy. Move slowly. Speak clearly. Make others feel seen. Most importantly, live so your presence makes others want to be better. That's influence's highest form. The man who uplifts everyone around him effortlessly, simply by being himself. Repeat daily. My presence is calm, powerful, and persuasive. I make others feel seen, heard, and understood. I don't argue. I influence. Over time, that energy becomes magnetic. The world leans toward you not because you shouted, but because you built yourself into someone worth following. The law of increasing returns. A law exists, so powerful, so consistent that those living by it inevitably rise while those violating it are sentenced to mediocrity. Not written in stone, not taught in schools, rarely mentioned in success conversations, yet every successful man I've known obeyed it like scripture. The law of increasing returns. The man who does more than he is paid for will soon be paid for more than he does. Let that echo, not motivational phrase, economic truth, spiritual truth, universal truth. Average men say, I'll give more when I get more. Builders say, I'll give more now and let rewards find me. They always do. Look at Andrew Carnegie, began as poor boy in telegraph office, wasn't asked to learn Morse code fluently or memorize rail routes. He did anyway, went beyond role instruction. Minimum. What happened? People in power noticed, not instantly, but inevitably. From that small post, he rose to become one of the world's richest men. How he gave value first, without asking, keeping score, or demanding. The man going the extra mile makes himself irreplaceable. While others perform duty, he delivers results. While others ask, what am I owed? He asks, what else can I give? Understand life doesn't pay based on clock time, it pays based on value. Your time means nothing if it produces little, but your effort, initiative, refusal to cut corners or wait for reward, that makes you unstoppable. Thomas Edison knew this well. His work ethic, legendary, thousands of failed experiments, sleepless nights, years of obsessive experimentation. He didn't demand guarantees, gave everything first. Only after results were produced did the world hand him rewards. Let me ask, are you doing the minimum, rising only when watched, moving only when convenient? The universe keeps score, not of hours, but initiative. The world might not reward immediately, but it will eventually far beyond what you expect. If you make this habit, start where you are. If employed, stop asking what your role is. Start asking what your standard is. If building business, stop asking what clients will pay for. Start asking what would blow them away. If building skill, don't just check boxes. Stay longer, push deeper, stretch further. Every time you exceed expectations, every time you cross the invisible enough line and keep going, you separate from the pack. Become unforgettable, trusted, indispensable. Charles Schwab wasn't promoted for doing his job. He was promoted for multiplying value, encouraging others, pushing teams, asking what else could be done, going above not for attention, but because it was his identity. That's what you must become. The man who gives more than asked, expected, required. Key, do it when no one sees, when no one claps, until it's your identity. That identity becomes opportunity's magnet. Henry Ford built empire not just through knowledge, but by demanding more from himself and others, faster production, smarter engineering, better customer value. Always asked, how can we give more? Result, he received more than anyone in his field. Remember, every great leap begins with invisible effort. Begin today, ask where am I meeting minimum? Where can I exceed standards? Where can I act not as employee or worker, but as owner? Once you find that answer, live it, you'll face resistance. Others will mock you. Say you're working too hard, caring too much, doing too much for nothing. But going the extra mile's rewards aren't immediate. They're delayed but multiplied. They come as respect, trust, opportunity, leadership, and eventual wealth. Say daily, I don't ask what I'm owed. I ask what I can give. I exceed expectations as my life's way. I am the man who goes the extra mile, see, pour qualter. Let those words take root. The man living by them never stays at the bottom long. Yes, repetition is programming. Let me tell you something you know but haven't accepted. Watching this once isn't enough. You cannot rewire your entire system in one sitting, cannot kill decade-old fear with one motivation round, cannot erase old programming with inspiration alone. Your subconscious doesn't respond to one-time information, it responds to repetition. To imprint new belief, you must burn it repeatedly until it becomes more familiar than your doubts. Truth repetition is the subconscious mind's language. The strongest loop always wins. If your old loop is, I'm not good enough, it dominates until stronger, one replaces it. If hesitation is your life's dominant signal that becomes your identity. But feed your mind daily with power, certainty, voice reminding you who you really are. The old voice loses volume, not by force, but frequency. That's why auto-suggestion isn't optional. It's the method, tool, mechanism reprogramming who you are at core. How it works. Play this again. Speak lines aloud with energy. Memorize phrases that struck you. Repeat them mentally when resistance rises. Let this message become your mental software. Don't listen for entertainment. Listen for identity installation. You're not here to feel better. You're here to become unrecognizable. Example, close your eyes. Say to yourself, I am not afraid. I act without hesitation. I am focused. I am certain. I am becoming who I was meant to be. Feel the body shift. That's not imagination. It's neural reinforcement, identity updating in real time. Multiply by 90 days. Say it once. Spark. Say it every morning for 90 days circuit. Speak until it becomes your baseline, until words don't just sound strong, they are your voice. Law. What you feed forms you. What you repeat becomes you. Don't let this message fade. Don't treat it like a video. Treat it like ritual. Build your morning around it. Make it environmental. If someone asks why you keep playing the same message, tell them, because I'm not here to be entertained. I'm here to be rebuilt. Your mind is programmable. Always has been. The only question is who's writing the code. From this moment forward, you are Play this again. Speak words with fire. Walk into your day with certainty. Every time you repeat power, you weaken fear. Now the final command. Now let's close this chapter the only way a transformation-committed man should. You've listened. Absorb truth after truth, not theories, tools. Now comes the most important part. You walk not as the man who started this video, but as the man who has already become what he used to chase. You don't move like you're trying. Don't speak like you're hoping. You walk like it's done. That's power's posture. Not because you know everything, but because you know yourself. From this moment forward, move differently. Walk into the gym like transformation already happened. Step into work like breakthrough already came. Make decisions like success is already unfolding behind scenes. Because it is, everything works in your favor, but only if you act like it. Faith isn't passive. Faith moves. Faith builds. Faith walks like the outcome is certain. That's not delusion. That's identity. That's alignment. Before ending, say with power aloud, spine, tall, chest, forward. I am not afraid. I act without hesitation. Everything is working in my favor, and I move like it. Say it again, slower, meaning every word. I am not afraid. I act without hesitation. Everything is working in my favor, and I move like it. That's your identity script. Now, you don't need validation, applause, or understanding of the fire burning in your chest. You just need to keep going. The world rewards the man moving with certainty, not knowing, not explanation. Certainty. You don't explain decisions to people who haven't earned the right to hear them. Don't need permission to rise. Don't need green light to act. You are the green light. You're not waiting for breakthrough. You are the breakthrough. Every action from this moment forward must reflect that move, like the man who already has what he came for. Speak like someone whose voice creates results. Wake tomorrow like momentum waits for you. Because it does. The universe responds to certainty. Life bends to belief. The version of you who hesitated doesn't exist anymore. Now you walk like it's done. Let them wonder what changed. Let them feel the shift when you enter rooms. Let them sense the silence in your presence, the kind not from not knowing, but from knowing too much to waste words. You've done the mental work. Now, walk it out. Every room you enter, every action you take, every plan you make, do it as the man who already is. If you forget, return to this press play again. Remember who you really are. This isn't just motivation. This is mental installation. You don't install once, you live it, rehearse it, become it. Like, subscribe, and share this video. Join our community of unstoppable achievers transforming thought into reality together. We rise higher than any of us could alone. Your life bends to your beliefs, command it.